Promises to Keep on Life and Politics, written by Joe Biden. Introduction, Promises to Keep. The man who shaped America's future, Joe Biden's remarkable journey. Have you ever wondered what makes a president? Get ready to dive into the fascinating story of Joe Biden, a man whose life journey could inspire millions. Picture this. A young Catholic boy grows up learning about fairness and service to others. That boy becomes a man who spends 50 years fighting for what he believes in. This isn't just any story, it's the real-life tale of Joe Biden. Why should you keep watching? Because in the next few minutes, you'll discover shocking truths about how Biden faced tough times and came out stronger. You'll see how a man who stuttered as a child found his voice to speak for millions. Think the Senate was always divided like it is today? Think again. Biden's story reveals a completely different world, one where politicians from both sides worked together and stood by their beliefs. It's hard to imagine, right? From civil rights battles to the dark days after September 11th, Biden was there for America's biggest moments. But here's what makes this story special. It shows how these events didn't just change America, they changed him too. Want to know what kind of president Biden might be? His past holds all the clues. Every challenge, every victory, and every lesson learned has shaped his vision for America's future. Here's what makes this video unmissable. You'll learn how Biden's Catholic upbringing shaped his core values, discover the surprising ways he handled political challenges, and understand why his 50 years of experience matter now more than ever. By the end of this video, you'll understand how a boy from Scranton, Pennsylvania, could end up running for the highest office in the land. More importantly, you'll see why his story matters to every American, regardless of their political beliefs. Stay tuned, because this isn't just Biden's story. It's the story of how America changed over half a century, told through the eyes of someone who lived it all. Don't miss these incredible insights into the man who could shape America's future. Ready to discover the real Joe Biden? Let's begin this amazing journey together. Chapter 1 of 11 Promises to Keep. Joe Biden, Overcoming Childhood Challenges. Joe Biden faced a significant challenge during his childhood, a severe stutter. Speaking in class or in public was terrifying for young Joe. Words would get stuck in his throat, causing intense embarrassment. Determined to improve, Biden developed a unique strategy. He practiced speaking in front of a mirror. He memorized poems and speeches, repeating them carefully. When he stuttered, he would start over, teaching himself to relax his facial muscles. His persistent practice paid off. Biden gradually overcame his speech difficulties. He transformed from a shy, stuttering child to a confident public speaker. He learned to address large crowds with ease and confidence. Biden credits his stutter as a crucial life lesson. It taught him resilience and determination. These skills became fundamental to his political career. He learned how to face challenges head-on and never give up. His childhood experiences also shaped his empathy. Biden never forgot the pain of being bullied. One memorable incident involved a nun mocking his stutter at school. When he told his mother, she fiercely defended him, threatening the nun if she continued her cruel behavior. This experience taught Biden an important lesson about standing up to bullies. Throughout his career, he has consistently opposed discrimination and fought for the marginalized. His parents and Catholic faith instilled in him a deep sense of service to others. Biden's commitment to serving people became his life's mission. Whether as a public defender, senator, or president, he has always aimed to help those who need support. His childhood struggles transformed into strength, shaping his approach to leadership and public service. His journey demonstrates that personal challenges can become powerful sources of motivation and compassion. Biden turned his early difficulties into tools for understanding and helping others. Chapter 2 of 11 Promises to Keep. Love and Ambition, Joe Biden's Early Journey. Joe Biden's path to success wasn't always smooth. As a college student, he struggled academically. He wasn't a top performer and often found himself cramming for exams at the last minute. During his first 2 years at the University of Delaware, Biden preferred socializing with friends over studying. Everything changed when he met Nelia Hunter during a spring break in the Bahamas. Their love story was unexpected. Nelia came from a wealthy family, different from Biden's Catholic background, but their connection was strong and transformative. Biden was so smitten that he would drive 320 miles every weekend to see her. He even gave up football to spend more time with Nelia. His love for her became a powerful motivational force. Nelia believed in Biden completely. Her unwavering confidence helped him believe in himself. She encouraged him to focus on his studies. During his final college semesters, Biden improved dramatically. He successfully secured admission to Syracuse University College of Law. At law school, Nelia continued to support him. She helped him revise for his final exams. Biden's father also played a crucial role, helping him get an introduction to a prestigious law firm in Wilmington. Despite his average academic record, Biden's determination and communication skills helped him secure a job. His personal and professional life seemed to be aligning perfectly. He married Nelia, started a family, and began his legal career. But Biden wanted more. He was driven by a desire to serve the public. His love story with Nelia was more than romance. It was a catalyst that transformed his ambition and self-belief. Biden's journey shows that love can be a powerful motivator. It can help people discover their potential and pursue their dreams. Chapter 3 of 11, Promises to Keep. Joe Biden's journey from law to protecting the vulnerable. Early in his legal career, Joe Biden experienced a life-changing moment. While working at a law firm, he witnessed a trial involving a seriously injured welder. The company found a legal loophole to avoid paying compensation. This moment deeply affected Biden. Watching the welder's family's distress, Biden realized something important. Legal doesn't always mean moral. He understood that laws should protect people, not just serve corporations. During the 1960s, Biden saw serious racial injustice in Wilmington. Civil rights protests were intense, especially after Martin Luther King's assassination. The governor used the National Guard to patrol black neighborhoods. They enforced strict curfews and intimidated residents with weapons. Biden knew he couldn't fight for justice within his current law firm. He made a bold decision. He quit his prestigious job and sought ways to truly help people. He became a public defender, representing people who couldn't afford lawyers. Most of his clients were black residents from East Wilmington's poor neighborhoods. Biden also joined a criminal defense firm, fighting civil litigation for desperate people. These experiences showed Biden that individual cases weren't enough. He wanted to create systemic change. He desired to be part of creating laws and policies that genuinely help people. When invited to run for the county council in Delaware, Biden saw an opportunity. He could now work towards broader social change. His early experiences had prepared him for a political career focused on protecting vulnerable populations. Biden's journey demonstrates how personal experiences can shape a person's professional path. His commitment to justice began in a courtroom and eventually led him to national politics. Chapter 4 of 11, Promises to Keep. Joe Biden's environmental political journey. Joe Biden began his political career with a unique mission, protecting the environment. In 1969, local Democrats invited him to run for the New Castle County Council. Despite being in a primarily Republican district, Biden accepted the challenge. His sister Valerie managed his campaign brilliantly. She worked tirelessly, visiting every neighborhood and street. Biden discovered something powerful during his campaign. Middle-class Republicans and working-class Democrats shared a common dream of creating a healthy environment for their children. Against all odds, Biden won the election by 2,000 votes. This victory came during a time when Democrats were losing ground across the state. Immediately after winning, he focused on environmental protection. In the early 1970s, environmental regulations were almost non-existent. Large companies like Shell could buy thousands of acres of coastal land for industrial projects. Developers were rapidly constructing highways and destroying natural landscapes. Biden took a strong stance against these environmental threats. He demanded stricter environmental checks before issuing permits. This approach made him unpopular among developers and business people, but gained him respect from environmentally conscious citizens. His commitment to environmental protection caught the attention of the Delaware Democratic Party. They saw him as a rising star who could challenge the long-standing Republican Senate seat. Biden's progressive environmental policies became his political trademark. The Democratic Party recognized Biden's potential to connect with voters differently. They included him in the Democratic Renewal Commission, which aimed to modernize the party's approach and strategy. Biden's early political career was defined by his willingness to fight for environmental causes. He demonstrated that protecting nature could be a powerful political platform, bridging different social and economic groups. Chapter 5 of 11: Promises to Keep. Joe Biden's unlikely Senate victory. Joe Biden was only 29 years old when he decided to run for the Senate. Most people thought he couldn't win. The current Republican senator had held the seat for nearly 30 years. No one believed a young candidate could defeat such an experienced politician. Biden's family became his strongest support team. His brother helped raise money. His sister Valerie managed the campaign. His wife Nelia stood by his side. They knew they were major underdogs. Their campaign had almost no money. Traditional funders refused to support Biden, but they turned this weakness into a strength. Instead of spending money on advertising, they used creative strategies. Biden focused on personal connections. He hosted up to 10 community coffee meetings every day. He would sit in people's living rooms and talk directly with voters. He spoke in high schools, connecting with young people who could vote or influence their parents. He was clear about his policy goals. Biden championed important issues like civil rights, environmental protection, voting rights, healthcare access, and ending the Vietnam War. He refined his message until it was powerful and direct. 2 months before the election, polls showed Biden trailing by 30 points. Nobody expected him to win. But on election day, he shocked everyone by winning by 3,000 votes. Biden proved that determination, grassroots support, and genuine communication could overcome seemingly impossible odds. His campaign showed that a young, passionate candidate could defeat an established incumbent. Chapter 6 of 11: Promises to Keep. A tragedy that almost ended a political career, Joe Biden was 30 years old and about to start an exciting journey in the Senate. He had a beautiful home in Wilmington and 3 wonderful children. His life seemed perfect, but everything changed just before Christmas in 1972. A devastating car crash shattered his world. His wife Nelia and their youngest daughter Naomi died in the accident. His 2 sons, Bo and Hunter, were seriously injured. Biden was in Washington when he heard the news. He rushed home immediately to be with his sons. The pain was so intense that he wanted to give up everything. He even thought about suicide, understanding the deep grief that drives people to such thoughts. Looking at his injured sons in the hospital, Biden found his strength. His boys were small and needed their father. He decided he couldn't abandon them. The political career he had dreamed about suddenly seemed less important. Biden told Senate Majority Leader Mike Mansfield that he would not take his Senate seat. He believed fathers were more important than politicians. His sons needed him more than the Senate needed him, but his colleagues refused to let him quit. Senator Hubert Humphrey called the hospital daily to show support. Mansfield reminded Biden of the hard work he and his wife had put into this opportunity. Motivated by his wife's memory and his colleagues' encouragement, Biden made a difficult decision. On January 5, 1973, he was sworn into the Senate, beginning a journey that would define his future. The tragedy could have destroyed him, but Biden found the courage to continue. His resilience would become a hallmark of his political career. Chapter 7 of 11: Promises to Keep. Biden's early Senate journey. When Joe Biden first entered the Senate, he was a broken man. Grief and anger consumed him. He struggled to get through each day. His pain was so deep that he just wanted to go home after work. Biden ate lunch alone and avoided socializing. He isolated himself from other senators, but his colleagues didn't give up on him. Mike Mansfield and Hubert Humphrey checked on him weekly. Teddy Kennedy invited him to the gym. Other senators asked him to dinner. Slowly, Biden started to open up. He became grateful for their support and friendship. The political landscape was turbulent. The Vietnam War was raging. President Nixon had been impeached. Important social issues like civil rights and women's rights needed attention. Biden's first Senate speech was about campaign finance. He spoke against private funding in political campaigns. He believed private money led to corruption. Some donors wanted to control his vote, but Biden refused to be influenced. His speech wasn't popular, but he didn't care. Biden was never afraid to take controversial positions. He followed his principles even when it made people uncomfortable. For example, Biden opposed federal funding for abortions, but he supported a woman's right to choose. This position angered both conservatives and women's rights groups. Yet Biden stood firm. His independent thinking earned respect from both Democrats and Republicans. He didn't simply follow party lines. Instead, he worked on issues he believed were important. Biden's early Senate years showed his character. He was resilient, principled, and willing to stand up for his beliefs. Chapter 8 of 11, Promises to Keep. Joe Biden's love story with Jill. In March 1975, Joe Biden's life changed forever. His brother gave him Jill Jacobs' number. He called her on a sudden impulse. During their first conversation, Biden felt something special. He knew immediately that Jill was the one, but Jill was uncertain. She was 24 years old, almost 10 years younger than Joe. She had just ended a bad marriage. She loved her freedom. Politics wasn't her passion. Biden was different. He was sure about their future from the start. He saw something unique in Jill. She slowly fell in love with him and his sons, Beau and Hunter. Biden was patient but desperate. He wanted commitment. One day, he gave her an ultimatum. Would they have a future together or break up? After deep thinking, Jill decided she couldn't lose him. She wanted to be part of his life. They married in June 1977 in New York City. Their honeymoon included the entire family. Jill became an amazing mother to Biden's sons. Despite hating politics initially, she became Joe's biggest supporter. She helped him win his second Senate term. Biden's second term proved his political strength. He gained important positions in foreign affairs, intelligence, and security committees. Senior Democrats started seeing him as presidential material. Jill transformed Biden's life. She brought love, stability, and support during challenging times. Their relationship became a powerful partnership that would shape his political career. Their love story wasn't traditional. It was complicated and unexpected. But it became a strong foundation for Biden's personal and professional journey. Chapter 9 of 11, Promises to Keep. Biden's first presidential campaign challenge. In 1987, Joe Biden decided to run for president. He thought his Senate experience would help him. But the national campaign was much harder than he expected. Biden had a complicated relationship with the media. After losing his first wife and daughter, he avoided journalists. When he entered the presidential race, he had no media allies. The press was harsh. They criticized Biden constantly. They called him all showmanship and no substance. They claimed he was lazy in the Senate. Despite negative coverage, Biden's campaign gained momentum. He connected well with different audiences. People liked his message of hope and opportunity. Then disaster struck. The New York Times published a story about speech plagiarism. Biden had used lines from British politician Neil Kinnock without proper credit. The newspaper didn't reveal that a political rival had sent them the video. Journalists dug deeper into Biden's past. They found academic plagiarism allegations from his college days. Syracuse Law School had already concluded he didn't intend to cheat. He simply didn't know how to reference properly. These attacks wounded Biden deeply. They targeted his most valued quality, personal integrity. The media stories were devastating. The timing was terrible. Biden was chairing important Supreme Court nomination proceedings. Media attacks threatened both his campaign and his professional reputation. With no other option, Biden withdrew from the presidential race. His first national campaign had ended unexpectedly. This experience taught Biden valuable lessons about national politics. He learned how brutal media scrutiny could be. He discovered the importance of careful communication. Despite the setback, Biden didn't give up on his political dreams. This challenging experience would shape his future campaigns. Chapter 10 of 11, Promises to Keep. Biden's life-changing health crisis. Joe Biden's failed presidential campaign saved his life. During the campaign, he suffered from terrible headaches. He was taking over 10 painkillers daily. He thought stress was causing his problems. One night, after a long speech, Biden collapsed in his hotel room. Doctors discovered a dangerous brain aneurysm. If he had continued campaigning, the condition might have killed him. Biden underwent several risky surgeries. His recovery was long and challenging, but the experience changed him forever. For the first time, Biden slowed down. He realized life was more than constant work. Political ambitions suddenly seemed less important. The health scare gave him perspective. Biden understood the value of balance. He wanted to make meaningful contributions, not just chase achievements. During his recovery, Biden reflected deeply. He recognized his strengths and priorities. He returned to the Senate with renewed purpose. Back in the Senate, Biden focused on important projects. He crafted the Violence Against Women Act. This legislation addressed domestic violence nationwide. He also became deeply involved in foreign policy. Biden lobbied President Clinton to take action against Slobodan Milosevic. He pushed for accountability in international conflicts. The health crisis made Biden more determined. He knew exactly what he wanted to accomplish. His approach to politics became more purposeful and focused. Biden's near-death experience transformed his life. It taught him about resilience, balance, and meaningful work. He emerged stronger and more committed to public service. His journey showed that setbacks can become opportunities for growth and reflection. Chapter 11 of 11, Promises to Keep. Biden's path to presidential ambition. The 9/11 terrorist attacks changed America forever. Joe Biden saw incredible global solidarity after the tragedy. He hoped the world would unite against terrorism. President Bush initially seemed open to international cooperation. But Biden underestimated the influence of Vice President Dick Cheney and Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld. The Iraq War became a turning point for Biden. He saw the conflict as senseless and destructive. Thousands of lives were lost. Billions of dollars were wasted. The war violated international principles. The U.S. disregarded the Geneva Convention. Torture at Guantanamo Bay damaged America's moral reputation. When Bush was re-elected in 2004, Biden was devastated. He believed the country was heading in the wrong direction. Democrats needed to regain control. For the first time, Biden seriously considered running for president again, but he worried about his family's feelings. The previous campaign had been hard on them. During their Christmas holiday, Biden expected his family to discourage him. Instead, they surprised him completely. Jill and his children wanted him to run. They believed he could unite the country. They promised to support his campaign. Biden decided to seek the Democratic nomination in 2008. Nearly 20 years after his first attempt, he now had clear purpose. His motivation was different this time. He understood exactly why he wanted to be president. He knew what he wanted to accomplish. Biden's journey showed persistence and commitment. He transformed personal pain into political motivation. His family's support became his greatest strength. The Iraq War had fundamentally changed his perspective. He saw a need for moral leadership and international understanding. Conclusion: Promises to Keep. Joe Biden. A journey of resilience and commitment. Joe Biden's political journey is a powerful story of determination and principle. Throughout his long career, he has consistently stood up for his beliefs, even when it meant facing challenges and criticism. From his early days in local politics, Biden demonstrated an unwavering commitment to his principles. He was never afraid to fight for what he believed was right, even if it made him unpopular among his peers. Biden's life has been marked by significant personal and political challenges. However, he always faced these obstacles head-on, emerging stronger and more resilient with each setback. His ability to bounce back from difficult moments became a defining characteristic of his career. In 1987, Biden's first attempt to secure the Democratic presidential nomination was unsuccessful. But this did not discourage him. Instead, he remained determined and ran again in 2008, believing he had the skills to unite the country and serve as president. One of the most important lessons from Biden's life is the importance of family support. The Biden family follows a powerful motto: help should be offered before it is requested. During his darkest times, his family was always there for him, providing unconditional love and support without waiting to be asked. This approach to support is something Biden believes everyone should practice. When someone you care about is struggling, don't wait for them to reach out. Take the initiative to show up, offer help, and demonstrate that you care. Biden's story is a testament to resilience, principle, and the power of family support. His journey shows that with determination, one can overcome significant challenges and continue to pursue their goals. For anyone facing difficulties, Biden's life offers an inspiring message. Stay true to your principles, lean on your support system, and never give up.